Welcome to Knockhill Racing Circuit for the second round of the Scottish Championship bike racing. In this week's programme, we're going to be concentrating on the Superbikes. They're the fastest bikes that we have, and as you can see, weather conditions are perfect. We've got a great day's racing ahead.
So the Knockhill Motorsports Club Superbike and Clubman Series sees Glenn Irwin on pole on a 600 Yamaha. Glenn Irwin, a 22-year-old from Carrickfergus, on his appearance here. Ahead of Bruce Burney, his teammate Josh Day on a Superbike Honda is third, and Donald McFadden is fourth. We've got Campbell Tasker and Mike Keith are the second row of the grid, with Houston Patterson, Adam Blacklock another 600, and Jim Lang the first of the Clubman. Keep your eye on Torco Patterson, guys. We've not seen Torco here this year, and it's good to have him actually racing with us.
Yeah, good to see him back out, and like I say, this is a full grid of Superbike and Clubman, and with a few Supersport 600s in there for the mix. Derek Butcher, a guy who's second place, I think, in the Clubman Championship at the moment, heading the fifth row of the grid.
Excuse me there, Dennis. Yeah, but a full grid. Big grid of Clubmans and Superbikes, but they're led by number 2. So here we go, green flag by the clerk of the course. We're under starters orders. We'll get a visual on the guys starting from the pit lane. One of them looks like Josh Day, I'll say that. One of them looks like number 2, Josh Day. But away we go, down towards St Curves. The race has started, and who is going to have the whole shot as they're coming towards first corner? It's that man from Carrickfergus, it's Glenn Irwin, as they lead the way through the first corner. St Curves down through Leslie's, it's Jim Lang, Roy Houston, and that was Josh Day starting for the pit lane then.
Yeah, I think going to the top of St Kerr for the very first time, it looked like Donald McFadden squeezed himself into second place ahead of Bruce Burney. We're looking back at Andrew Tasker there, just going underneath Mike Keith, and that is the battle for fourth and fifth. But look at the lead already from Glenn Irwin. He's pulled out a tremendous lead over Donald McFadden, and this is going to be very helpful for Bruce Burney. I think Bruce was wanting to get away with him at the front and try and challenge as best he could for a race win overall, but I think he's going to be stuck behind Donald, and Donald, we know, is good on the brakes and towards the hairpin. I don't think Bruce will be able to get through that easily.
Donald McFadden fresh back from the Northwest 200 on his big BMW, slotting into second place. But just listen to that little 600 scream up the main straight, Dennis. Such a high revving bike, and Glenn Irwin absolutely flat out in towards St Curves on the number 2 bike there. Just tips it in. Burney does get past McFadden at the top of the hill there, so he will be happy with that. And now he's going to have his sight sets on the young man from Carrickfergus. There he is, competing this year in the British Supersport Championship, and he's just up here on what we would call, well, a fact-finding mission then.
Yeah, these guys just using a little bit of track time ready for the Superbikes here between the 22nd and 24th of June, Duncan, so that's coming up pretty shortly. So it'll be good to see the likes of Glenn Irwin, Josh Day, but also maybe the likes of Andrew Tasker, and I think a few of the other Clubman and Superbike boys being out there for a bit of a run round in the British Superbikes, so that's going to be interesting to see.
And towards the hairpin he comes, looking at the battle for second place with Burney, McFadden and Tasker. Good to see Don well stuck in there in this one, and out with the hairpin they go. A little bit of movement with the back of Burney's bike there, but there goes Irwin over the line in towards, well, chalking off another lap in towards the first corner. He comes there and he's in determined mode. Burney is trying though. Burney is trying very hard as he goes through St Curves and Leslie's.
Yeah, last lap round, both the race leader out front, Glenn Irwin and Bruce Burney, on a 51.2, so pretty much down to a quick pace straight away, Duncan.
That's not too shabby. There's Adam Blacklock. Good to see a visual on Adam Blacklock, a man from Glasgow there on the number 52 bike. Adam again up here, he's a British Championship runner, and he's just doing a little bit of running pre-BSB, as Dennis does say. That is here just in a couple of weeks time, so this is perfect for these guys to get a meeting under their belt just before the big series rolls into town. But here we go, heading towards the hairpin. We're picking up on Mike Keith and Torco Patterson. Camera kind of squints back towards the front here on the Burney battle. But Torco Patterson, we haven't seen Torco racing here this year because his machine blew up. Was it qualifying the last time?
So I have a qualifying off first lap of the first race, something like that, but yeah, also good to see Torco back out there. He's getting back into the swing of things, but Brian Campbell hanging in well there, getting towed along, and they're right into the back of Mike Keith, and both riders lapping a little bit quicker than Mike Keith, so I expect them to surpass him pretty soon and pass on further up. We're looking at Donald McFadden there. Donald, like I say, is a class act, isn't he? I mean, for an oldish guy, he's not a young whippersnapper anymore, but he can half ride a bike still.
I'm not saying Donald's old, he gives me a row every time I mention the old warhorse. But Glenn Irwin is away at the front of this. The young whippersnapper has got his head down and is disappearing, and Burney doesn't look like he's got an answer from the young man who's come over from Carrickfergus. It's just not going to happen. Glenn Irwin does come from good race stock though. From those of you who have probably a little bit older than myself and Dennis, you'll remember Alan Irwin, a very famous racer from Ireland, racing a few GPs, lots and lots of experience, and that's going to filter down, and it's going to help Glenn Irwin, because you can see he's just absolutely demonstrating here. Remember, he is on a 600cc Supersport bike. Burney here on the big 1000cc R1. and his teammate is in this race somewhere as well. We'll have to try and get a visual on Josh Day on the number 2 CBR Fireblade. It's a 10 bike, so it's a bike that's got pretty good stock behind it as well then.
He also a bike he rides in the National Superstock Championships alongside the likes of Jimmy Story, a local guy. Like I said, hopefully to see out the British Superbike shortly in a few weeks' time, and be good to see how these guys will be able to compare themselves as Torkel Patterson up the inside of Mike Keith gets good drive out with John Howie chicane there, up in towards Clarkson. A nice little manoeuvre.
Mike the Bike, former podium man here, but Tasker's now going round outside of Don on the way towards the hairpin there, but McFadden says no, it's not happening. Backs in the BMW, and then let's get a pick on the Clubman. There's Jim Lang, number 7, Richard Hughes, number 11 on the ex-Dennis Hobbs TAS Relentless Suzuki by Bob Scott Bikes as they come through Clarks, and then I kind of missed the other man because I was too busy rattling on at the sheets then.
Let's see, Hugo, you're listening off pretty well there. As we look at Donald McFadden still getting chased down by Andrew Tasker, and then we look back and it's Brian Campbell. It's definitely closing up towards the back of Mike Keith and Torkel Patterson, so Brian Campbell putting in a strong ride, and impressive stuff. Good to see Brian back out there racing and riding so strongly.
So Mike the Bike, there he is, team leader for Bruce Burney, and he's hanging in the back of Torkel Patterson pretty well. Now Torkel was the man for quite a few years of here. Torkel was the absolute man. Mike Keith and Brian Campbell will be delighted to be here. Torkel will not be delighted having them behind him, guarantee you that. But back towards the front we go. We've got the battle still raging on for these two guys, McFadden and Tasker, and I thought Andrew might have wriggled his way past ahead of Donald, but Donald is putting up a pretty good stern fight here. Yeah,
Donald McFadden on the AJG Parcels supported BMW doing a great job out there, and Andrew Tasker just struggling to get past. I think obviously we know that Donald's very strong on the brakes in towards the hairpin, and that seems to where Andrew gains in, but unable to get past us. Look at that, Jim Lang up the inside of Derek Butcher, and that's the battle for the Clubman Championship outright on the road there. So Jim Lang just managed to get past Derek, and they're coming back up over the start finish straight, and let's see if these guys can, if Derek can have a look back at the top of the circuit curve.
Word in the street was that Jim Lang was going to get himself a BMW, but then the Kawasaki needed an engine rebuild, so again all the funds got pumped back into that. But he's holding off a very determined number 66 Derek Butcher on his 11 or is it a 1298 Ducati. We'll pick up on that one in a wee while anyway. But Glenn Irwin's gone, he's checked out. As we decide to jump back, we've got Roy Houston in the battle here. Roy Houston, number 47 as well, which is right in the midst of things. That's Alan Bryce, and there's Josh Day. There's Josh Day on the CNN Racing Honda, CN Racing bike heading towards Happen. So we do finally get a good pick up on Josh Day. He started from the pit lane, as did Roy Houston, so they're kind of circulating together. Quite good because they might end up racing together at the BSB in a couple of weeks' time. Anyway, through Leslie's in towards Scotsman, we've got Don McFadden and Andrew Tasker, and I think Tasker will be getting that little bit agitated because he has been finishing in front of Donald McFadden for most of the year, but he's now got Donald right in front of him.
I think this is just, I think Don McFadden obviously being back in the swing of things and being away, like you say, at the Northwest 200 where he's racing around at 200 miles an hour plus, and just getting back into the swing of things, and he's keeping himself race fit, bike fit. He's on a bike quite often, and this is helping, and you can see that in his riding style. He's looking nice and comfortable, nicely backs in towards the hairpin there, looking really good as Josh Day's got his way past our man 36, and that is Roy Houston.
You had to look at your sheets for that, that's brilliant.
Oh, I was lost for words then for a second.
Yeah, I get lost for words every time I see Roy Houston without a helmet on. Anyway, here we go, back at the first corner, see it curves. Donald McFadden looks like Donald McFadden from years ago. He looks like he's got his mojo back, but up the inside there's Declan Hoy on the number 80 R6 Yamaha. That was a cracking move that actually. It's very, very late determined on Alan Bryce, and he'll love him just for that. But yeah, Donald McFadden's looking like Don used to look when he was really aggressive maybe a good few years ago, and he's kind of got his mojo back. He's backing that thing into the hairpin and also first corner, so great. Yeah, as you say, he's been away in the Northwest, got a little bit of speed under his belt, and he's come back here rocking on all 4 cylinders. But back at the front, we need to pick up on our leader somewhere. We've got Glenn Irwin, who isn't getting a lot of camera time because he's doing every sponsor's nightmare and just disappearing and leading the race by about 8 seconds. Bruce Burney will be thinking where he's come from. He's obviously had his frosties this morning, or his shreddies. But in third position, we need to pick up on that battle for McFadden and Tasker also. So lots to see and lots to talk about.
Yeah, and good to see the guys have got a sub 50-second lap there. Not sub 51. That's almost getting lost. 50.8 for Glenn Irwin, so that's the quickest lap of the race, and he's consistently fast as well. It's not just one quick lap, it's consistently quick laps, all within a couple of tenths of a second, and that's going to be making Bruce Burney pretty annoyed out there, because we know how much Bruce wants to win, no matter who's out there. As we look back at Richard Hughes and Big Donkey as they come out the hairpin, Graham Duncan on the 77 BMW S1000 RR, and looking nice and comfy on that bike, Duncan. I know he's been working around it, just trying to make it feel a little bit nicer. He's definitely got a scrap on his hand.
Here he comes though, Glenn Irwin on the Met Healthcare Megastore 247 by CN Racing Bike. Big wheelie on the R6, takes a very, very good dominant victory there. He'll be chuffed with that one. Bruce Burnley does an equally good wheelie for second, and Donald McFadden gets a fine third place from Tasker in fourth. But there is the man. Remember the name, guys, Glenn Irwin. If you're coming up for the Superbikes, you will see him, and you will see him lots. Blacklock ahead of Day. Adam Blacklock gets the elbows out in a little R6, and he's going to finish just ahead of Josh Day. That was very, very close, but Josh Day will be happy with that as well. They're here collecting data, and he did start from the pit lane, but here comes Bruce Burnley and he points to Glenn Irwin. Yeah, well, he says you're fast. Yeah, you're gone, basically is what he just said there. So Glenn Irwin wins the race from Bruce Burnley. Donald McFadden and Andrew Tasker. Torco Patterson on a return to Knockhill gets 5th from Brian Campbell, Mike Keith, and a good run in 8th position from Adam Blacklock. Clubman's was Alan Bryce from Jim Lang, Derry Butcher, Callum Milne. Graham Duncan gets 5th from Richard Hughes, Alan Houghton, and Andy Hunter comes home in 8th position.
Welcome to another episode of Racing No Filter. Joining me in sunny California, Bill Wood, and down in sunny Florida, Peter Keene.
We're going to take a look at some of the products HPD has created for the 2012 Honda Civic, and specifically we're going to show you how to install an adjustable sway bar.
Until then, folks out there, you take care.
Third place man, fresh back from the Northwest, Donald. Great result, great to see you back on the podium.
Yeah, it's good. I went quicker in qualifying today than I've gone before on the bike, so that was a good start for the race. So, and I got behind Bruce. I thought if I can just keep a hold of him, then we should do all right. So,
did you know you had Andrew for company?
I knew I had somebody right behind me, and I guessed it was Andrew. So, I was just trying as hard as I could, hence I'm all red.
Well done, Donald. Great result.
Right, thank you.
And the second place man, Bruce Burnley, points leader as well in the Scottish Championship, and it was a Scottish Championship win, although it wasn't a win overall.
No, it wasn't a win overall. It was fantastic beating all the Scottish guys, you know what I mean? But that guy on the 600, what's he all about? He's awesome. I was sitting behind him, you maybe see yourself in turn 3 round the back on about the 3rd lap, and I was like, I'm gonna try really get up on him. But oh my God, I almost landed on the moon. The bike let go and I thought it was all over. But it come back to me and I went, yeehaw, let's get back on this. But second's good, bike's fine. Leading the Scottish Championship, big up to Carnegie Fuels, fantastic.
You've got one more race. Is there anything you can do to stick with him? I mean, it was scary to watch. I was stepping back as he came past here. He was absolutely flat.
He's nuts. I'm not going to change the bike. I'm just going to go out there and just get back on it again, you know what I mean, and see what we can do. Hopefully it gets a wee bit warmer so we've got a bit more traction, and yeah, but I was speaking to him earlier on, he's saying that he'll get faster by this afternoon as well, so maybe playing mind games with me, I don't know, but we'll see what happens.
Well done, Bruce.
Thank you very much, take care.
Glenn Irwin, a man we've not seen at Knockhill, or certainly I've not seen here, but you've blown Bruce's mind with the speed there on a 600 as well.
You know, my bike's handling unbelievable. CN Racing, they've done a fantastic job. Like honestly, the bike's awesome. It was so comfortable to push hard, and it's a credit to Bruce and also to Donald and the guys for keeping me honest, because I rode the wheels off that there. You know, I didn't come here with a mindset of take it easy, because it's a test for a British super sport, and you know, we gotta see what the bike does when I'm pushing it to the maximum. So, brilliant race.
You could see that you were pushing when you came up over the start finish straight. You were tucked in like a GP125 rider.
Yeah, you know, I'm coming out of that last corner, and I'm standing on the back brake, literally the whole straight. There's a lot of wheeling at Knockhill, and I'm having to fight with it so hard. I knew Bruce, you know, on the Superbike, my game plan was if he got ahead of me into turn 1, it could be a bit of a dogfight. I wanted to get ahead and ride my own race. But you know, I couldn't do this without all my sponsors: MET Healthcare, Megastore 247, CN Racing, CN Trading, Bob Grant this weekend's been fantastic, ValveNet.net, Mark Griffiths, Sports Institution Northern Ireland, my trainer Ben, and everyone else. And once again, great to see a great crowd at Knockhill.
Well done, great result.
Thanks a million, cheers.
The second Superbike race is lined up behind me in the holding bay, and we've got a short bit of time here to grab a few words with a couple of people. Front row, we've got a couple of guys on the front row that we don't usually see up here. Because we've got the British Superbikes visiting Knockhill very soon, we've got some guys up doing a little bit of sneaky testing. Josh Day here, 600 Superstock champion, British champion from a couple years ago, up on the front row. He had a difficult first race. Let's have a quick chat. Josh, we're going to have a quick chat for the TV. A difficult first race, but you've got a second chance again from the front row.
Yeah, no, we had a bit of a problem in the first race where the fuel pipe wasn't connected, so we missed the start. Started for pit lane, but yeah, no, we'll just see what happens really. We'll get away and see if we can stick with Glenn and get some good laps under our belt, good bit of testing ready for BSB in a few weeks.
Good luck. I'll let you get on. We're going to move a little bit further down the field if we can squeeze past Donald McFadden, who had a great podium there in the first one. I want to move across to a man who we saw last year quite a bit of, Roy Houston. Good to see you again, Roy. I missed you at the first round. I didn't even see you in the depths of the midfield. Nearly won the 600 Superstock Championship last year. You had a great run towards the end of the year, and you're back on the big bike this year.
Yeah, we've just sort of now getting into a rhythm with the big bike. It's a big change, and we've had a few problems with it, and I think that's us now getting a grip with it. We had a lot of suspension issues, and in that last race I had to start from pit lane, but I still managed to get 10th, so hopefully I can get away with the guys at the front.
Are we seeing, is this second row or third row here?
Third row, start at the front, third row. So
can you make an impact from there?
I hope so. I can usually get quite a good start, so if I get away at the start, hopefully I get with the front boys.
Good stuff, good luck, we'll all be watching. Let's swing around this way. And again, it's quite frantic. I want to speak to this man here. Oh, he's hesitant, doesn't want to talk to me. It's a man we haven't seen out this season, but a regular from the past. Callum Milne, happy to be back racing.
Yeah, it's good to be back. A wee bit rusty, but it's nice to be back on the bike.
You've not qualified too badly, but to be rusty.
Well, maybe just go a little bit faster, maybe another second or so would help the cause a little bit.
And how are you getting on with the BMW now?
Fine, I think I'm used to it. It's still hard work, but I'm used to it.
Good stuff. Great to have you back.
So here we go as the guys leave the garages on their bikes, and they will be lining up on the grid once they've done their warm-up lap. There's your man number 2, Glenn Irwin. He gets his way out from a pole position. 600 is leading the way. It's quite impressive to come here and win, well, lead and win on a super sport 600. I'm getting tongue-tied like you, Dan.
Yeah, obviously doing a good job. The grid is Glenn Irwin on pole from Bruce Burney, Josh Day, Donald McFadden. Row 2, Brian Campbell, Andrew Tasker, Mike Keefe. Third row, Roy Houston, Torkel Patterson, Adam Blacklock and Jim Lang. Then we go through, we've got Derek Butcher, Big Graham Duncan, Alan Houghton, Richard Hughes. Then we've got Hunter, Keep and Milne, and that is the full grid for the Superbike and Clubman's coming up.
Put my teeth back in now, Dem. We should be alright for this one. Looking forward to another pretty hot race. Will Glenn Irwin get even hotter? Spot yourself in the crowd if you can see yourself there. Stuart Jackson. Stuart Jackson's used to standing at the side, isn't he? No, we're not going to say that.
Yeah, I just noticed that Glenn Irwin was going out of the pit lane, brand new tyres on as well, Duncan, so that's going to help him.
So let's see how the number 2 Super Sport 600 rider can get on. We're under starters orders. Straight away the red lights are on the bridge, and we're going to go racing here. Away we go, and we're on board with James Lang on the Clubman ZX10R as we go down towards St Curbs, right in the middle of this pack. Now we're back with Brian Campbell. Cracking camera views as we go through first corner, and we're playing Pinball Wizard with the onboard cameras here as we go through Leslie's and in towards Scotsman corner, and we're now looking back with a face full of Adam Blacklock from Brian Campbell. So Brian Campbell's made a good start to get ahead of Blacklock there, and they're going through the Johnny Way chicane again. It is that man, and look at him up the exit curb. Up the exit curb goes Glenn Irwin. Roy Houston in third place then.
Yeah, and we know that Roy said he was good at starts in the interview there he did with Joe, and he's proved that there on up into third place, and that's a good start from Roy Houston. Third row up into third. We've got Josh Day there in fourth, Torkel Patterson there in fifth. Torkel's got a good start ahead of Donald McFadden, our first race third place finisher in sixth.
Glenn Irwin letting it all hang out going in towards the first corner. Little 600 screams its way up the main straight, and he holds off Burnley on the big BMW. Roy Houston in a fine third position from Josh Day. What a What a start that must have been for Roy Houston, to come from the third row to be third at the end of the first lap. Fair play. Taco Patterson following Josh Day as they go down through Leslie's. Taco Patterson, a man who will be getting quicker and quicker as the day goes on, you can guarantee it. And well, everybody just hopes that Glenn Irwin doesn't get quicker and quicker as he goes on. He comes through the chicane and he uses all the curb, but the only man who's brave enough to go out and use the curb on that little 600, and he is absolutely wringing the neck in that CN Racing Yamaha. Up through Clark Corner there, Taco Patterson trying to get a good run on Josh Day, and we'll see who's got the quicker bike. Is it going to be the YPE Suzuki as he comes into shot? No, it's not, but Houston gets done by Josh Day. As Josh Day, he's a very economical rider, isn't he?
Yeah, I think also stem back to Roy Houston making a bit of a mistake coming out of Clark's end. Got himself tied in knots all the way through railway down towards the hairpin, and that lets Josh Day ride straight past him, and Taco Patterson's in the mix there now. Donald McFadden right behind as well, so we've got a good scrap going on for third place at the moment as the first two are starting to clear away. Bruce Burney pretty much hanging in with Glenn Irwin at the moment, so let's see if Bruce can do something. As Taco Patterson looks up the inside of Roy Houston, has to back out. You can see the front twitching there as he grabbed a handful of brake mid-apex.
I was twitching, never mind the front, but that looked like Roy went a little bit hot through the top of straight curves, made it difficult on the left-hander, and Taco had a go, but yeah, Roy said no. Here comes Taco up the inside at the Clarks, and this time it's done and dusted before they're anywhere near the corner. Good move by Patterson on the Saltair Suzuki as head towards the hairpin.
Yeah, I think obviously Taco's going to be getting used to riding a proper bike again after being out on the Harleys for a couple of years, and getting back to like a proper superbike, super stock spec bike. It's a big difference from riding a big heavy Harley with not a lot of power, but obviously got to carry plenty of speed. So he's taking a little bit of adapting, but the battle is still on there. Look at that: Roy Houston, Andrew Tasker, Donald McFadden, and Brian Campbell with Mike Keefe as well, and Adam Blacklock just behind him. So nice big scraps going on right throughout the field. Yeah,
McFadden and Tasker further down the field this time as Tasker goes round the outside of Roy the boy as they go through Leslie's. That's a gutsy manoeuvre. That's a quick left-hander. It's not a place you want to go missing it. But yeah, the different. We've got the same two guys at the front in Irwin and Burney, but then we've got Josh Day in third position. Whereas the guys that were battling for third position this time look like they're in kind of 5th, 6th, 7th place just now, and that's Tasker and McFadden. So we'll keep our eyes and see if they can get up to the front. But already pulling away on that CN Racing Yamaha is once again Glenn Irwin, and he is doing a cracking effort here at the front. Bruce Burney on the big Carnegie Fuels BMW in second, but let's see if Don McFadden can go up the inside of Roy Houston. No, Don's going to have to watch because he's got a rather racy camera mounted Brian Campbell. Now there used to be a day gone by when if you had the camera on you were almost certain to have bad things happen to you, Dennis. Let's hope that's not today for Brian Campbell.
Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully the cameras are going to give us excellent racing shots, which we've seen so far today, Duncan. But look at this, the scrap is on. Roy Houston definitely goes a little bit wide at the top of seat curve every single time, doesn't he? He runs in there a little bit fast, and that compromises his speed through down towards Scotsman Corners, and following Don McFadden, who's right behind him. I'm pretty sure Don's going to get a good drive out of John Howley chicane and maybe have a dive at Clark's.
Still, big look back from Roy Houston there, so he's obviously getting a bit twitchy. Still, the only man we've seen using any exit curbs around the place is Glenn Irwin, and he's been hyper confident. And it was good to hear him after his first race, quite a well-educated young man, as we come back towards the front just now. But let's keep our eyes on this battle. Up the inside goes Don. Good move on the number 55 BMW to get past Roy Houston. It looked like there was an incoming yellow missile of Brian Campbell there, but Brian thought better than trying to stick that into the side panel of Roy's Kawasaki.
No, I'm impressed with Brian Campbell here. Brian put in a very strong performance first race, really good speed. I'm sure it's as fast as it's been all the time as we go back towards the Clubman battle there, and right up the inside that's Derek Butcher that's just been passed, and who else we've got on the Chikai there, Duncan?
So Alan Howiston as well, but right now it's Alan Bryson, Jim Lang. They're quite a way ahead of these guys of the Callum Milne, Alan Howiston and Derek Butcher battle just now. And towards Seat Curves, Derek goes up the inside, and it's a brave move, but he's not getting there. Roy's twitchy, isn't he, there? He's having a lot of looks back here on the Kirkcaldy Kawasaki.
He's hampered his entrance in towards Clark's there, went in really early, and that's going to probably give the advantage to Brian Campbell. Now as a drive down towards the hairpin, and let's say that Kawasaki's not slow, is it? It pulls away. Brian Campbell on the brakes, but he's on the wrong side of it. Looks, it goes up the inside.
Oh, I thought he was going to do that. That was a good move of Brian Campbell there. And join us after the break and we'll see if Brian manages to hold it up the main straight.
Want to keep up with all the racing action at the track? Well, download the new Go Racing TV iPhone and Android app. And remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
So here we go, Brian Campbell up the inside of Roy Houston and out the hairpin. Can he hold it on the Honda? Has the Honda got the legs up the main straight? There's Roy Houston right alongside, round about 150 mile an hour as we go over the crest hill and under the bridge, and Roy Houston takes the place back from Brian Campbell. That was some brilliant onboard footage there, but Roy again, he just runs too hot over the top of the hill there, and Brian Campbell very, very opportunistic up the inside. And can he hold the manoeuvre through Scotsman? Yes, he can. Roy's face is going to be the colour of his number board, is going to be bright red. He's not going to be happy with that one. Bit of red mist will be creeping down now, but a good bit of racing there between two young guys on big bikes.
Yeah, like I say, Brian Campbell, we were just saying how good he's been and looking this weekend, and that's testament there. He's obviously put Roy Houston under a lot of pressure, but Mike Keith's coming into the mix now, so Mike the bike, as you call him there, Duncan, is coming right into the mix of things. We're looking back from Brian Campbell now down towards, I think that's Mike in the background.
That is Mike Keith having a look up the inside. Now Roy Houston has a little look over and concedes. Maybe one thinks that Roy's struggling a little bit with something on that Kirkcaldy Kawasaki, right out over a rather dusty cement ridden exit curb at the hairpin there, and up over the hill he goes. So Roy Houston's lost 3, 4, 5 positions he's lost now. He was running third at one point.
He also got a good start and running with the front guys, but like I say, he's just getting used to the bike still, and he's being passed by Mike Keith on another Kawasaki ZX10, so I'm not sure he's going to be happy about that one. So the Kirkcaldy Kawasaki man's definitely got to try and find something from somewhere, and this is a big battle for second place of that Bernie, Day, Patterson all together, so this is a good scrap for second place. Duncan, his old man Glenn Irwin has disappeared at the front, and I think Bruce has got his hands full here.
Yeah, Birdie doing that famous head nod as he goes over the bumps here, gets the Carnegie Fields BMW turned in front of that CN Racing Honda that Josh Day is on. Then we've got the Saltire Suzuki prepared by YPE of Torco Patterson up the main straight. This is a big battle. There's a bit of honour at stake here. They've all been kind of done by Glenn Irwin on the little 600, but who's going to be the first big bike home? There's a bit of honour here. Bernie will want to be the man that leads them home, but Josh Day, oh, he's wearing the Scottish knee-siders. That's nice to I like that. He can come back, Josh, as he leads gets the bike out of Scotsman and down through Butchers. A man that we've seen racing in the National Superstock 600 class, and we know he's a quick man. We know he's a quick man, Josh Day. So just getting to grips with the 1000cc bike around Knockhill. Knockhill will seem very short compared to when he was last year on a 600 Yamaha a good few years ago. Here's Adam Blacklock, another man on the Yamaha from Glasgow. Adam Blacklock comes from a good racing family as well, but we're already jumping back to these guys at the front, and there's traffic ahead of them, Den.
Yeah, just watching all three riders there. We're coming on the last lap as well, Duncan, so it is Bernie, Day, Patterson, just like that, all separated by less than a second, and there's a few guys that they're getting up on, and this maybe is going to make it interesting, but they've been sitting like this for a couple of laps now, and there's been no difference between them whatsoever. As we're looking at Torco Patterson just at the back, he's sitting in 4th place, so Torco's going to be looking ahead. He's trying to maybe try and plan a pass on Josh Day, and Josh Day likewise is looking for a way past Bruce Bernie ahead of him as we catch up two of the solo riders now, and I can see that's another one of us, number 19 Kevin Milne, and the other one number 5 Gary Keeper, and that's Bernie that's managed to pass them both, so Bernie's safe. That second place of Bernie is safe, and now it's down to 3rd place between Day and Patterson, and this is going to be on the brakes in towards the hairpin.
Day round outside of both the guys there. Bernie's going defensive because he doesn't know that he managed to split the back markers between them, but through they come. Up the main straight goes Glenn Irwin, and then it's Bernie, Day and Patterson. It's a last lap flag. It's a late checker flag for Josh Day. Bernie gets second, Day gets third, Patterson does get 4th. So once again it's another win for the Met Healthcare Megastore 247 bike by CN Racing. Highly professional for Dennis Hobbs there, and once again there he goes, gives him a handshake. Keep your eyes on Glenn Irwin, because Bruce Bernie would love to have his eyes on Glenn Irwin. Irwin leads and wins the race from Bernie and Day. Patterson 4th. McFadden comes home in 5th position from Andrew Tasker. A good run by Brian Campbell, and also Mike the Bike brings it home in 8th position, Mike Keith. The Clubman guys also, there's Jim Lang, wins from Alan Bryce, and Derek Butcher gets onto the podium. A very hard fought race for Butcher there. Callum Milne, Richard Hughes, Alan Howinston, Big Donkey was 7th, and Andy Hunter comes home in 8th place for the guys in the Clubman. They're racing with the fast guys in Superbike class. Let's head down to Joe Tanner.
Bruce Bernie, 2nd place, man home, but you're finding it tough with these young scallywaggles.
Definitely, yeah. It was good. I got a good start, but I don't know what happened when I come into turn 3. I got the gas on, but it was lazy, so obviously meant I tried to protect it inside, but he just took off, and I was worried about behind. I was thinking about my Scottish points and my worth pushing, and yeah, it was, no, it wasn't. So second's fine. It's not great, but it's fine.
It's good for the championship, Bruce, and it's good to see you at the front.
Yeah, totally, but I wasn't at the front. I was
near the front.
Near the front, that's right. So that's fine, but yeah, we'll see what we can do next time. I'll keep saying that probably all the time, but we'll go and try and do something different again.
Well done, Bruce.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
And the winner for the second time today, Glenn Irwin, mega ride. We're used to seeing a Supersport winning up here with David Payton, but never seen a Supersport winning with that kind of advantage.
Hi, well, my bike's handling brilliant. Once again, team have done a fantastic job, and I've seemed to be a lot of confidence this weekend, and I can push hard. A little bit cooler in that race, so we didn't just push as hard on the rear grip, but I rode a good steady race. Bruce did get ahead of me off the start, and the last thing I wanted to do was not to be able to take the 600 line, so he went defensive. I thought I'll go wide and up the inside and the drop off, and I had to get by him and done my own race from then.
I think was getting quite frustrated with you guys, because obviously he wins here all the time, and when these 600s come along, I think he was quite frustrated.
I'm sure for Bruce it's probably a good thing, because to be riding a 600 or a big bike like he's on against a 600 here does take a lot of riding, and maybe if he's carrying some of the 600 corner speed and that, it's going to stand him in good stead for future races at Knockhill. From what I can see, he's definitely the man to beat over here. And I was on the phone to my dad earlier. He used to race here all these years ago, and as he says, these Knockhill experts, if you want to call them, they're not slow, and he could hold his own against nearly anyone, I think, in a super stock bike around here.
Well done on the result. Great to watch.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here, and once again, thanks to all my sponsors. MET Healthcare, CN Trading, CN Racing, Megastore 247, ValveNet, Mark Griffiths, and everyone else that helps me. Cheers.
And it's sunny.
Sunny Scotland.
Third place man on a super sport bike in what we call Superbike class, Josh Day. Super stock bike, sorry, in what we call our Superbike class. Great result, third place, but you had to work for it.
Yeah, no, I had a bit of a bad start, and with the first race starting from pit lane, you just get stuck in that slower pace, and first few laps it took me a while to get back up to pace, so a couple of lads come past me, and Bernie had a bit of a gap on me, but I managed to get him back by the end. The back markers come into at the end. Not saying he wouldn't have had a go back at me, but hopefully next race we can go one better, but I'm just happy with the times really. Lap times is what I'm here for, and it was just a good race really. It's just nice to get one under your belt.
Yeah, you're here obviously preparation for the BSB run that's here in just 2 weeks' time. Are you happy with what you've done this weekend? You had a problem in race one, but times-wise, happy enough? Yeah,
times-wise, I'm about a second off of the actual lap record, but with new tyres and that, you never know, could get up there. But no, I'm quite happy. We're not here to break anything, so we're just here to have a bit of fun, really. And the boys are riding really good. Glenn's flying, and Bernie's good for good old Scots. Flying the Scott colours for him this weekend on the knee sliders. But
did you know you had Torquil Patterson, one of our regular Scottish winners, right on your tail as well?
Yeah, well, I saw somebody my pitbull was +0, but I knew from the first race it was only Glenn and Bernie, but he must have pulled some out. But hopefully it was just he was on new tyres or something, so he can give me a bit of break in that next race, and I can give Bernie a bit more of a hard time.
Good job, well done.
Right, cheers, thank you.
Attention paddock, with all remaining Super Stock 600, race 9 to holding area, please. It's all remaining Super Stock 600, race 9 to holding area, thank you.
The third Superbike race is lined up behind me. We've got a few minutes until the race starts, and if I swing around you'll see the front row, the number 2 machine, Glenn still on pole position, Bruce Burney frustrated there in second place on the grid, Josh, and a man that we haven't seen in a while on the number 31 machine is Torquil Patterson. If you swing around, Torquil.
Hi Joe, how you doing?
Good to see you back at Knockhill.
I know, it's been a couple of years I think since I've been here.
And where have you been?
We did that Harley Davidson series, rode Harley XR 1200 for Edinburgh Harley Davidson down at BSB for the last couple of years, so did that. It was good fun, but that's not running this year, so we're back to Scotland. Got my trusty old Suzuki K9, dragged it out of the shed, dusted it down, and away we go.
Now we've seen this bike win some races over the past few years up here. It's a familiar sight.
Yeah, I've done really well on that bike over the years. It's just trying to find that little bit of magic for this weekend. It's not quite happened yet, but we're getting there. Every time we've been out we've gone a little bit quicker. I've not raced Knockhill properly for a couple of years, so it's just getting my brain back into how we go around here, so enjoying it. I'm getting there slowly but surely.
Good stuff. It's always good to watch. Let's see one of those Torquil Patterson style storms that we used to see.
I hope so, that's the plan.
We'll wander a little bit further back. I want to speak to Brian Campbell. Here he is. I'll wave him over. He's in a daydream there on the number 69 machine. Brian, nearly front row. I haven't spoken to you yet this year, but it's been going really well. I keep meaning to catch up with you.
Aye, no, it's going well. I'm really happy with this weekend in particular, to be honest.
I managed personal best lap ever with Knockhill in that second race there. I'm giving myself too much work the first couple of laps, just not getting into it. Everybody's banzai for the word go, but I'm just taking a couple of laps to get going. That time the front 4 or 5 are gone, like, but it's going well. Like, I've definitely taken a step forward this year, like, so quite happy.
You've been quite unlucky with the fact that we've got these British Supersport and Superstock guys up here this weekend, because they're like unbelievably quick, but if they weren't here you'd be third.
I know that's it. It's unfortunate for the championship, but at the same time, you want to be racing against, you want to be testing yourself against the best guys in the country, really. So, and that's what they are, like. So that's quite happy. Like,
British Superbikes are next up at Knockhill 2 weeks' time. Have you got budget? Are you up for doing a round of the British Superbikes?
I'd love to do it, to be honest, but same again, it's just not budget. I've been running Dunlop treaded tyres this season, so it's another change. I'd really have to get Metzlers, go and do a test to get the feel for them again, and it's a bit obviously don't get yourself too much a disadvantage against the guys. So I'll see what happens. I do really fancy it, but if there is any sponsors out there looking to help someday, I'm well keen.
There you go. You'll find him on his website. Good stuff.
With so much racing going on in the world, you'd have to be a four-headed monster to keep up with it all. Luckily, we have that. Join Peter Keane, Bill Wood, Errol Tucker, and their guest driver analyst each week for an opinionated look at the news coming out of the racing world. Remember, it's GoRacingTV.com for all your racing and video needs.
So here we go, it is Superbikes and Clubman time with the same front row. Glenn Irwin, Bruce Burney, Josh Day, Torco Patterson, Dominic Fadgen, Andrew Tasker and Brian Campbell are the second row, with Keith, Houston, Blacklock and Lang rounding out the third row. This is going to be the quick one, Dennis. This is the one they've said they can all get speed and build up through the day towards the last race, so it should be fairly interesting.
Yeah, conditions a little bit cooler for this one, Duncan, so I'm not sure what's going to be happening in terms of the lap times, but we'll keep an eye on it. Obviously the British boys are up there for plenty of track time. They want to go fast out there today and using it as knowledge ready for the Superbikes. They say 22nd to the 24th of June, which should be absolutely fantastic.
Quite nice to hear Glenn Irwin after his post-race interview there saying that Burney is a quick man round here, so you've got to give these guys respect, and very nice from that, actually. Anyway, we're under starters' orders. Here we go. Who's going to get the jump? The whole shot here. A little bit of creeping from that man there. Look at Roy Houston. Where are you going, Roy? The lights aren't even out on Brian Campbell, and it's Adam Blacklock with a stormer of a start on the little 600. Is he going to hold that? Is Campbell going to have to get the elbows out as they go through St. Curves? No, Campbell can't hold back Blacklock, and Jim Lang's got a lot of trouble in front of him as well. There's bikes everywhere over the circuit. And we see Adam Blacklock going up inside Andrew Tasker as they go through Butchers. Now, can Blacklock have that before the Johnny Bush chicane? No, he can't. But this time at the front is Burney, who leads the way. Oh, a bit of a movement from the back end of Josh Day there.
I was just going to say, I wouldn't want to be arguing with Andrew Tasker if I was side by side with him, so Blacklock did the right thing there. Andrew Tasker barged his way back through, and he's the guy we normally see on the podium, and he's going to be frustrated he's not being right at the sharp end with Bruce Burney. But Bruce Burney's definitely increased his pace this weekend, and he's leading Glenn Irwin this time, so let's fingers crossed Bruce can give him a hard-fought race at the sharp end. Josh Day there in third. Fourth place, Torkel Patterson, so he's got away in the same place as he started, and chased down by Donald McFadden.
Surely that 600 isn't going to try and drive it. It looked like he was almost going to outdrag the Superstock BMW up the main straight there. That Yamaha a day of Irwin's is very quick. Irwin goes up the inside and backs it into Scotsman corner. What a move. That happened so quickly. Burney would wonder where that come from, and now he's got the hammer down as he goes through Butchers up to the John Away chicane, and the little 600 is absolutely on song.
Yeah, that 600 picks up so fast, but it's only when you come up with the start finish straight, it's only the last bit as you get level with the bridge where the big bike actually overcomes it. So the 600 almost a perfect racing bike round here at Knockhill, and Glenn Irwin showing that out there in predominant fashion today. And Josh Day maybe having a look at the inside of Burney on the brakes in towards the hairpin, has to back out of it. Burney good on the brakes, makes his apexes. McFadgen in the background there had a dive up the inside. I'm not sure who it was that with. There's Andrew Tasker.
It could have been Andrew Tasker. But yeah, Josh Day was trying to make it a CN race in 1-2 there, but in doing that he's got Torkel Patterson up the inside of him, and Patterson passes him as they go into St. Curves. A good move by Torkel Patterson. Josh Day just losing out a little bit there, and as they come through the twister part of the section here, Patterson will be chuffed. He's on the podium, he's got one step on it just now, and can he catch up with Burney and Glenn Irwin and try and look at the amount of exit curve he was using there, Dennis, and the thing's still on its side and it's on full gas.
Yeah, using the exit curb and a little bit of green extra tarmac that's put down there at the side of the circuit, so pretty impressive stuff by Glenn Irwin. And like you say, that Megastore 247 bike looking great at the front, followed by Bruce Burney on the Carnegie Field supported BMW 1000 RR.
The way he's going, he better watch it. That Met Healthcare might come into use the way he's riding this thing round here today. But you heard Burney did sing his praises after that first race. He said he was absolutely nuts, but on it. And we've seen Glenn Irwin, he's doing a good race here. He doesn't look ragged and out of shape though. He looks very clinical and just uber fast.
I like how you dropped clinical in there. I thought it was part of the word. There was a look back at Roy Houston there, and that's Blacklock Mike Keefe, and there's that Brian Campbell right behind. So Brian Campbell's just not got off the line like he needed to, as Blacklock looks at the inside there, has to back out, but then drives up the inside in towards Butchers. So that's quite a good move there from Blacklock against Roy Houston there on the bigger bike. And like I say, Brian Campbell in the back of this picture, he said he needed to get away a little bit quicker. That hasn't happened, so he's given himself hard work to do once more. But Brian Campbell, quickest lap he's ever done around here at Knockhill this weekend, and great to see him back to racing how we know he can.
Yeah, Adam Blacklock comes from a racing family. You've got Jason Blacklock in there as well, and he's done a good move there in the little 600 there. Mike Keith kind of got forced wide by Roy Houston, and Brian Campbell takes the paint off the side of the Kirkcaldy Kawasaki, and good grief, that's got my hairs on the back of my neck standing up.
That was 2 and 1, but the way he swooped across the front of Roy Houston there, that was a brave manoeuvre, and hats off to Brian Campbell for making that one stick, and Roy Houston will not be happy about that one at all.
Roy the boy there, that was about 150 mile an hour, that onboard camera shot, absolutely first class. And we did get a glimpse of what was Jim Lang, and I think possibly Richard Hughes, or maybe Alan Bryce leading the Clubmans. But yeah, Roy Houston got well and truly mugged by a very aggressive Brian Campbell. Brian just need to get his elbows out a little bit more at the actual start of the race. And can he reel in that screaming 600 of Adam Blacklock and try and get another position on the road?
Yeah, time's still not as quick at the moment. Looking fastest lap so far, 51.4 by Burney of all people. Glenn Irwin all leading the race. Burney's pace has been up and down. He's been a second slow one lap and then on pace the next lap. So Glenn Irwin being consistently quick at the front. We know he's consistent. Every lap's within a few tenths of a second. That's the sign of a good rider.
You've raced a 600 down here, Dennis. You've gone round in something like a low 50, 50.34, something like that. Is it easier to go fast on the little bike than it is the big bike?
Hard to say. Obviously, if you've got a good bike underneath you, you've still got to ride it nice and hard. So, you know, the big bike, the 600, you've got to wring the neck of it, whereas a big bike, you're kind of almost a passenger to some point, because you can't use all the speed and the power of the big bike around the circuit. But like I say, I enjoy riding anything and everything around here at Knockhill. It's such a pleasing, challenging circuit that no matter what you're on, you've got to work hard and do a good job, as Josh Day coming under increasing pressure from Andrew Tasker.
Yeah, pulling wheelies round Hislops there is never the best thing for your health, I'll tell you that. Up the main straight they go. Glenn Irwin is away, Bruce Burney is in second place, Torkel Patterson third. He's gapped a little bit of Josh Day, and Tasker will want to have a bit of pride here. Yeah, Josh Day has got the Salta and these sliders on. We do like that. Come along and support him. But Andrew Tasker, Marshall's moving there. Was that somebody just unfortunately walking in front of the television screen? Doesn't seem to be anybody on their side, so that's good news for us. Still ticking off the laps here at a rather sunny Knockhill. A good grid of Superbikes and Clubman. It's what we like to see. And these guys are absolutely on the pace now. Nobody using the exit curve, just Glenn Irwin in that 600.
Yeah, he's got the confidence. Like you say, it's a dry day, so you can use that little bit of extra road. And all it is, especially on the 600, he's able to get onto the bigger, fatter part of the tyre, drive it really hard, and using all the road, so he's carrying as much speed as he can through the corner and carrying as much momentum as he can, and doing a good job in doing that. He'll also be using the curbs as they go between Macintyres or down at Scotsman Corner there, down towards Butchers.
Take your man Josh Day there, the number 2 CN racing bike. I think he's actually got a number 1 on a duct tape next to it. It's a number 12 bike. He looks so smooth. He looks very quick, because these guys are all lapping extremely quick, but he does look smooth. It doesn't look like he's jumping out the thing. It's not getting out of shape on the way into corners. Very in line and quick.
No, like you say, they're mainly using this as a test, so when they come here for the BSB, they come out the first session, the first practice session, these guys are going to be on the pace straight away, and that's going to make a big advantage over the course of the weekend. So rather than trying to find a second or 2 seconds between the first session and the next session, they're already going to be on the pace, looking for them final half a second, a couple of attempts that they need to be right at the front, trying to win the races outright.
Callum Milne, Derek Butcher going through your shot. The Richard Hughes in the middle of that as well. This is the Clubman battle. We need to find out where Jim Lang is, because I'm pretty sure he will be at the front of this one as well. as Richard Hughes on the ex-Dennis Hobbs TS Suzuki goes over the top of the John Arweir chicane. Good to see him back there, but there's Mill on the BMW ahead of Butcher. Now can we see Jim Lang? Is Jim Lang further up the road from these guys? Has he disappeared already in the Clubman race? Big donkey Graham Duncan in that as well.
Yeah, it's good to see 4 Clubman guys all together on the road in the Superbike class, and like I say, Jim Lang the only guy that's missing. As we look back from Brian Campbell, and he's got past Adam Blacklock, so Brian Campbell, like you say, not very quick off the line, but making big progress during the race and doing a fantastic job, so hats off to Brian Campbell once again. Yeah,
Brian doing 51.6, 51.7, but he's got past, and look, he's left Roy Houston for dust in the background, and he's got past Blacklock as well. As we come back up with Day here, Josh Day, no, don't, Glenn Irwin, sorry Glenn, back up with Glenn Irwin, and he's got a back marker kind of in his way as he come towards the hairpin there, but by the time they come out the hairpin, that is done and dusted. Burney's going to have to get a move on here because we're on to the last lap, and Torquil Patterson can once again have a good see of Bruce Burney. Now, is he going to have a good last lap? Burney's going to have a tail ender as they come through the top of 8 curves. Is that going to impede him as they go through Leslie's and get in towards Scotsman? Can Burney get past? Yes, he can. Patterson has to go past up the inside, but he gets his nose chopped off, and if anything, that's killed the second place attempt from him. He's going to be brave to go round the Butchers before the John Arweir chicane, and he's going to have to watch for an attacking, aggressive Josh Day now.
I think that might have been Bernie's old bike, so it might have been parked there on purpose.
Yeah, it's through Clark's corner. They come. Torquil Patterson is trying very hard. He wants a second position. Glenn Irwin already at the hairpin. Here comes the battle for second. Burney goes defensive. Patterson swoops from a very wide outside line. Can he get a good drive out the hairpin up the main straight? But look at that on the back wheel. What a cheeky young scallywag, as Joe Tanner called him. Glenn Irwin wins the race. 3 out of 3 for him. Burney gets second. Patterson gets third. And here's a good battle for Campbell. Can the little 600 of Alan Blacklock get Brian before the line? No, Brian can hold him off. But cracking race there, cracking result there. Burney going defensive at the hairpin, but didn't really need to. But there you go, there's your man on the CN racing bike. He'll be very happy that he's come home in another, 3 out of 3. Burney comes up to try and give him another little handshake, but you've got to take it to Glenn Irwin. He has been the class off the field on the Met Healthcare bike, the Megastore 247. There you go, Dennis. Some appreciation from the guys there. Will he pull a big wheel at the hairpin? He's looking for a bit of support there, and there he goes. And there he goes.
The way he jumped on them bars, I actually thought he was going to pull it straight up over the back, but we'll see what Joe Tan has to say with these guys in a minute.
Glenn Irwin wins from Bruce Burney, Torquil Patterson, and Josh Day comes home in 4th. Tasker, Don McFadden, Brian Campbell and Adam Blacklock are your top 8 in the Superbike class. For the Knockhill Motorsports Club Clubman class, well, that was a good race as well. Jim Lang, we didn't see much of Jim because he was away at the front from Alan Bryce. Callum Milne, Derek Butcher, Graham Duncan, Richard Hughes all lodged in a battle, with Alan Howitson and Andy Hunter coming home in 8th position. But let's head back down to Joe Tanner for the post-race interviews.
Second place, Bruce. Don't look like that. Second place is a good result. It's a good result.
I'm made up. Fantastic. I just wasn't meant to be on the top step today, but I rode well. I've changed a little bit of different things to my bike there for the last race, and I think I went on the right road, so it's all good. I got another 0.4 off my lap times. But your man there, no, respect to him, and I wish him all the best in the BSB. I'm coming down to support him now because he better do well, because he just smoked me the day, so yeah, good.
Third place man, Torquil Patterson. It's a name that we're all used to. Great to see you back on the podium.
It's good to be back. It's been a long weekend. Things just haven't been quite going according to plan this weekend, but chipping away, getting there. A little bit disappointed in that because I kind of got a back marker right in my face on that last lap. Just I'd spent the whole thing reeling Bruce in slowly but surely, but hey, that's the way it goes. Just need to try and take what positives we can away from this. We'll be here in 3 weeks, is it, at the British Superbike?
2 weeks, I think it is.
Alright, 2 weeks, well, I might be a week late.
I don't come in 3 weeks.
I'll win if I'm here in 3 weeks.
Glenn, what a day. 3 easy, dominant, impressive wins. You've made a huge fan out of Bruce Burney. He says he's coming to the BSB purely to support you after what he's seen today.
Maybe easy and impressive. I don't know about easy. It might have looked easy. I rode hard today, and that's, again, all credit to them guys, because they're only finishing a couple of seconds behind, and it's not a lot of a gap. I'm riding BSB week in, week out, which has obviously helped to me, but it's nice that Bruce is on board as a supporter. It's a lot of respect for him after racing with him today, and I rule on the Supersport at the BSB event now. Today's been fantastic.
So Bruce Burney leads the championship from Andrew Tasker, and Donald McFadden in third position. 152 points for Burney, 102 Tasker and 93 for McFadden. Good to see Brian Campbell get himself up there in the fourth position with Mike Keith fifth. Clubman classes Jim Lang, Derek Butcher and Alan Bryce your top three. A perfect score for Jim Lang. Big Donkey in fourth position on the BMW with Richard Hughes, Andy Hunter, Alan Howitson and Callum Milne gets himself on the scoreboard as well.
That's it, folks. That's all we have time for from the Superbikes this week, but do join us later in the year as there's plenty more action still to come.